If what Hank said about Clara is true, that she actually went against the mother's will to sell her only land to send him abroad, that means that Clara must have been so much in love with Hanks to make that kind of sacrifice for him, because not all women will be able to do such. Now I understand why Clara is Hank's weakness. He just want to make sure that he rewards and repay all the good things that Clara did for him during their relationship time. However, Jonathan should not think that Hanks is that stupid to allow him come into his company and ruin him just like that. Don't forget that Hanks himself will eventually install CCTV camera in that office just to monitor you, because he's not as stupid as you think he is. For the first time, Debbie is giving Clara the best advice. I mean, not to allow his husband into Hank's office, that he's definitely going to destroy him if she does that. That is a very good and valid advice, at least for the first time. The question is, has Debbie changed, or she's not trying to look for a way to get into the life of Clara again so that Clara will, live to trust her again? Only time will tell. After what happened on the last episode, that Jonathan insisted that the wife helps him to talk to Hanks so that Hanks can eventually get him a job in his office or somewhere else. On this episode, Jonathan's friend has to visit Hanks, just a way of trying to find out if Hanks has something more than just friendship with Jonathan's wife, because he himself is also a good friend that will not just sit back and watch his friend's family crash. He went to the office, and Hanks, having him in the office, knowing that he's a very responsible man, also offered to give him something to drink. But remember that him too, being responsible, rejected the drink, that this is a working hour. He went straight to the point. Are you having more than just friendship with my friend's wife, Clara? But when Hanks opened his mouth to tell Jonathan's friend what sacrifice, things that Clara has done for him to be where he is today, he was surprised. He said, I am not going to leave Clara for any reason. I am not romantically involved with her. But if that opportunity comes, I am not going to misuse it. I'm going to take it. And then he was surprised. He went ahead to tell him, listen, Clara sold her only land, went against her mother's will just to send me abroad. I eventually traveled and studied outside country. I made money and then did my own private investigation and found out that Clara is now married with a child. And you want me to come here, and now that I'm back, Clara is not on her feet, she's suffering, and you are telling me that I shouldn't help her. I am going to do anything for Clara. In fact, hearing this myself, I was like, is this really true? That means that Clara must be a very good woman. Clara is a very nice person, and once she sets her love for you, you are just the only one in her life, which is exactly what it is. Because if Clara was a bad woman, knowing what she has done for Hanks, and now Hanks has made money, she will want a relationship with Hanks. But rather, she doesn't even want to take anything free from Hanks. The money that Hanks gave to Clara was on a loan. She insisted that she wants to get a loan. That is, it proved that Clara is not even thinking of having anything to do with Hanks. That relationship is gone. She's with another man now. Now, Jonathan's friend will respect Clara more because he has already found out that Clara is a good woman. But for the first time, Debbie is giving Clara a good advice not to allow Jonathan into Hank's office, that he's only going there for his own selfish interest. But then, remember that you are the one that caused everything that is happening right now. But Clara insisted that she definitely wants to help her husband, because the husband came to her to ask for help, and she's going to do it for him so that he will be happy again. Debbie told Clara, what you want to do now is a very big mistake. Don't do it. Don't send your husband there. If not, you will regret it, because he's not going there for any good reason, which is actually true. Instead of Jonathan going there to actually harm or hurt Hanks, it is better he goes there, make his money. I keep saying it. Make your money and get out. I wonder why Jonathan keeps listening to Dan's bad advice. That Mr. John is here to also destroy Jonathan. But we will see if Jonathan will allow himself to be used, or he will eventually disappoint Dan. When the mother came into the room to meet with the daughter, she told her, now you're about to start doing your laundry. You should learn how to do your ironing too, because you need to start doing it. I won't be here to do it for you every single time. This is a mother that is always taming her child, teaching her what to do. But then remember that Jonathan cried into the arms of his daughter, for the daughter to help speak to the mom, so that the mom can in turn talk to Hans to get him a job. And then she asked the mom, Mommy, have you actually spoken to Hans concerning that? Because I want dad to be happy. I want to see him happy again. Please, you are the only one that can do it. I like the fact that this girl is outspoken. She's always speaking out. She's not one that will, look at situation and just allow it to just play out. She speaks when necessary. And that is why I think the mother loves her so much. The mother actually went to Hanks to ask for help, that Hanks should help her get a job for the husband. Even if there is no vacancy in Hans' office, Hans should please speak to his friends, recommend the husband, so that at least the husband can get a job, that she wants to see the husband happy again. In fact, she also went ahead to tell Hans that it is not easy. You should know that a man that is not able to take care of his family will never be at rest. That his husband is always nagging, and he was never like that. That is one thing that I know. Jonathan was once a baller. He never argued with the wife. He never, he never nagged about food or anything. But just because Jonathan is now broke, he lost his job. That is exactly what happens to a man that does not have money. There is no joy anywhere. He can never be happy knowing fully well that he does not have money to either take care of himself or take care of the family. You should imagine what it means for another man to give your wife money and pay your house rent as well. And then the same thing is happening to him. They are feeding him at home. He's not doing anything. He can never be at rest. But then Hanks, on the other hand, is thinking why Jonathan would prefer his office, because they have never been in peace. But you all know that Clara is the Hans' weakness. Hans can never say no to Clara, even though Clara has not put it as mandatory for him to help him, because of the sacrifice that she made for him. She's always begging, and she's not even forcing Hans to do it. If you don't want to do it, it's fine, but that Hans will go ahead. He got home and he was thinking. The mother came back and was like, when are we going to see the property? But right now, Hanks is not even concerned about any property. He's just concerned about what he wants to do for Clara. He is worried that Jonathan will come into his office and cause chaos right there. And the mother was like, are you sure hiring Jonathan is a good idea? Because I don't think that after all that is happening, Jonathan will just come to your office to work. I think he has his own, selfish interest. And that is why Hans is very worried. Jonathan cannot just come there to work like that. It is not done anywhere. Like, are you serious right now? But you all know that Hans is willing to always do everything, and then eventually said he's going to give him a job. But first, the mother instructed him to speak with Jonathan to find out if truly Jonathan sent the wife to talk to him about getting a job. Hanks immediately put a call to Clara to tell Clara that, listen, I know that you're doing well. How was your job? And Clara said, yes, she's fine. And the business is going well, because he already has trust that Clara is going to do well. Clara told him about everything. And he told Clara, listen, I want you to send your husband to my office. I want to speak with him concerning the job. In fact, what you spoke to me about, I want to actually help your husband, but I need to talk to him first. And Clara was so happy that she had to run into the room to meet with the husband that was almost, running fast asleep. And then she spoke to Jonathan. Jonathan was very excited that Clara did it. You can imagine how much pretense this guy is willing to put in to make sure that Clara links him up with Hans. You can imagine how people can pretend in this world. The wife was surprised, that the husband is so happy of getting a job through Hans. He doesn't even care that Hans is the reason why he is about to get the job. But then he was very grateful to the wife. Early in the morning, Jonathan came down. I was very happy, seeing the family having breakfast, the wife and kids. He was very happy. He called the wife, and then they were like, daddy, why are you so happy? In fact, Jonathan is ready to get to the office by 8, and Hanks instructed that he should come to the office by 9. He just want to be there before Hanks will get to the office. I just wish that Jonathan had good intention. This whole thing would have been very nice. But for the fact that he does not have good intention, that is where it is now very worrisome. And the wife was happy. When he was about to leave, he told the wife, okay, I will see you guys down. He called the wife darling for a very long time. She was very happy. Like, I don't understand, who is this? Is this my husband? But then getting to the office to speak with Hans, they were like talking, and Hans was like, we just fought. You and I, we are not in good terms. We keep on fighting over your wife, and now you prefer to work in my office. What exactly is the plan? And Jonathan said, I know that we are always fighting about my wife, but what I'm concerned about right now is to be a husband to my wife and a father to my child. I don't care whether we are fighting or not. I just want you to give me this job. So put everything we had aside and let's talk about the job. I mean, I am ready to kneel down for you if that is going to make you feel comfortable to give the job to me. But we'll get to find out about Jonathan's mission on the next episode. Please like the video if you have not liked the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. I will bring the next episode as soon as you do. But for now, take care.